All right, welcome to the second part of 8b, which is simplifying rational functions with division. So the very first step is to change. We're going to change that division to multiplication, but you just can't outright change this division to multiplication. We need to flip the numerator and denominator of the second fraction. So we're going to keep that first fraction the way it is, change to a multiplication, and then the denominator, the 6, becomes the numerator, and the 8n becomes the denominator. At this point, we can look to see, is there anything in the numerators and denominators that we can simplify? Well, I see 4 over 4, that could be simplified, or 4 over 8, or 6 over 4, or 6 over 8 in this case, and then the n over n. So any numerator can simplify with any denominator when you have multiplication. And these are monomials, so monomials can always simplify with monomials, binomials with binomials. So let's do 4 divided by 4 is 1, so I'm going to simplify with this denominator here. 6 divided by 6/8, divide both by 2, and 1, 3, 4, 1 and 4, nothing can simplify there. N divided by n is 1, so that's 1 times 1. N divided by n is 1, so it's 4 times 1. And let's multiply across the numerator here. We have 1 times 1 times 3. This is times this multiplication here. That's 3 in the numerator. And then 1 times 4 times 1 in the denominator is 3/4. Next problem. Keep the first fraction the way it is. Change to multiplication. Numerators and denominators. So we're multiplying by the reciprocal here. And now we're looking at the 7. So we're all monomial numerators and denominators. So then we're looking at each coefficient, 7, so I'm going to look at the first. 7, no, doesn't simplify with 2, doesn't simplify with 3. Same thing here, 7 doesn't simplify with 2, doesn't simplify with 3. N does simplify with n here, so we can simplify that. So n divided by n is 1, n divided by n is 1. Let's clean up what we have here. We have 7 times 7 times 1 is 49. 2 times 3 times 1 is 6. 49 over 6. Number 9. All right, so we have another division, so we keep that first fraction the way it is. The denominator is already factored. That's awesome. Looks like there was a greatest common factor of 9. The 9 over n plus 4 over n minus 7. So we're flipping the second, or multiply by reciprocal. Looks like we have 4 does not simplify with 9. Those are the monomials, only monomial in the denominator. The n squared does not, there's no n squared monomial, so that doesn't simplify. 9 can simplify with 9 here, so 9 divided by 9 is 1. And then we also have n plus 4. That can simplify with n plus 4. n plus 4 divided by n plus 4 is 1. n plus 4 divided by n plus 4 is 1. And that is it. So in the numerator we have 4 times n squared times 1 is 4n squared. In the denominator of 1 times n minus 7 is n minus 7. Number 10. So we keep that first fraction the way it is. The denominator is factored already. Sweet. Change to multiplication, and that's for multiplying by the reciprocal. 6b plus 4 over 32. Do we have b plus 5 in the denominator? Yeah, or b minus 5? Yes, we do. All right, those are going to simplify to 1. Do we have a b plus 6 in the denominator? No. Do we have a b plus 4 in the denominator? Sure do. Simplify those. B plus 4 divided by b plus 4 is 1. B plus 4 divided by b plus 4 is 1. And that is it. That's all we have. So the numerator is 1 times b plus 6 times 1. So that's just b plus 6. And then in the denominator of 1 times 32 is 32. Lastly, we have another division, so it's 4. Keep this first fraction the way it is. If you wanted a factor right away, you certainly could. I'm going to wait till the next step. Numerator and denominator switch. multiplied by the reciprocal. Now let's factor every numerator. So the first numerator, there's a greatest common factor of 4. Divide each term by 4. The denominator, looks like another greatest common factor of 4. We have a v plus 5 left over. The next, v squared plus 6v plus 5, that is, a is 1, so then we can do what two numbers multiply to c that add up to b, and that's v plus 5, v plus 1. The denominator, again, a is 1, so it's what two numbers multiply to c, so negative 2 that add up to b, which is negative 1. That's negative 2 and positive 1. All right, let's take a look at what we have here. We have 4 divided by 4. Those are your monomials, so those will simplify to 1. V minus plus 9, there's not a v plus 9 in the denominator. There's a v plus 5 in the numerator and denominator, and a v plus 1 divided by v plus 1. Remember, these are all 1s when they actually simplify. And that is it. So let's look at, we have v plus 9 left in the numerator, and v minus 2 in the denominator. All right, and the last problem, we have division, so let's switch the second fraction, the numerator and denominator, the reciprocal. Let's factor, bring this way over here. Factor the first numerator. A is 1, so it's what two numbers multiply to c, negative 28. That'll add up to negative 3, and that's 7 and 4, so negative 7 and positive 4. The denominator, we have a greatest common factor of 9n. Divide the first term by 9n, we get n. Second term by 9n, and you get 1. Next numerator, nothing to factor there. That's no greatest common factor, and it's linear, so that's going to be it. And the last denominator, we have a is 1. It's a quadratic, no greatest common factor. Do what two numbers multiply to positive 21 that add up to negative 10. That's two negatives. It's going to be a negative 7 and a negative 3. And let's look at what we have here. We have an n minus 7. Those can simplify. We have n plus 4. Nope. We have n minus 3. Yes. Those are going to equal 1. Always multiplication throughout. In the numerator, we have n plus 4. The denominator, we have 9n times n minus 1. And I'm just looking, and that looks like it's it. All right. Thanks for listening.